Dr. Lewis, and good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for attending this session. I just want to briefly tell you about the Lightboard, how I got introduced to it, the things I enjoy about it, the things I've learned along the way, and most importantly, how it's impacted my students. So just to give you a little bit of background about myself, I've been teaching within the Math and Stats department now for 5 years, and one of my favorite things is my students. They are literally my heart, and with that comes the experience that they have in my classroom. So the way that I kind of got interested in the Lightboard is I had an online class, and this is pre-pandemic, if we can remember that online existed even before then. And I wanted to make sure that those students in the online class realized that they had an instructor there, and they didn't feel like they were just hanging out and watching YouTube videos. I wanted them to know what I look like, how I interact, and we're gonna get this math done. So I went over to the center, which was located at Wendover back then, and I asked, what kind of technology do you all have? And that's when they introduced me to the Lightboard. And at that time, I had no idea what that was, but I was like, okay, as long as you walk me through it, I'm cool with that. So that's how I got interested and introduced to the Lightboard. Introduced me to the Lightboard, and this is it. And I guess I'll do a demonstration now. Use some more. No?
No, I have a question.
Oh, okay. What's this?
I just want you to kind of explain just how to operate. It looks kind of complicated here.
Gotcha. Well, I'm not the most technologically savvy person. I know it's 2022, but I still have some catching up to do. So it's very easy. If I can operate it, then I think anybody can operate it. Basically, and I hope I can lift this up, this is the frame of the board. There's like a little, I don't know if you can see this. Okay, a little switch. And when you turn it on, it turns the light around the board on. So of course, with this being the Lightboard, you want the room to be dark so that it really displays this light here. After that, as long as the microphone and the camera and all of that set up, you're just good to go to start writing. And that you may be thinking, if you're a bit more technologically savvy than I am, is if I write on this, would it show up backwards? And the answer to that is yes, until ITTD flips it around for you. So you literally get up there, teach, do your thing, and that's the bulk of it. All right, so at this point we have dimmed the lights in the room. All the lights are off, and as you can see, the Lightboard is on, but you can increase or decrease the luminosity of the board. So I'm just going to turn it up a little bit, and I think this is a good brightness for the camera to pick up on it and for me to be seen, but also the right. So one of the things that you have to remember when you're doing the Lightboard is that it's important what shirt you wear, okay? You must wear dark, neutral colors. Stripes make the words get lost in translation. White, it gets lost in translation, so always wear darker. I try to wear black anytime I'm recording because that's just the easiest color to wear, but just make sure it's a solid black shirt. So now I want to show you how this works. I'm going to set off to the side, and one of the things I love about the Lightboard is that you get to see me the whole time. So I'm writing the word Lightboard, which may not look like that to you right now because it's backwards to you. But this is where ITTD steps in, and what they're going to do is flip it. ITTD did it for me. But here's the thing, if you're more technologically savvy than I am, you may have video software, or you could download video software where you could simply flip your own video and you would have it immediately or whenever you finish that process. And contrary to what you may think or may not even think about, students really enjoy seeing the different colors. I've had comments about that, just especially women students. They're really attracted to like the colors, and it really helps things to stand out. So I'm just going to do a brief demonstration, and I'll solve a math problem because that's appropriate here. So we'll do a simple one. So let's say we had x squared equals 4. And I'm just going to pretend like I'm actually teaching this example here. So our goal is to solve for x. And if we are interested in solving for x, what we want to get rid of is this square here. The inverse of squaring is rooting. I like to say raise the root. Okay, those two things go together. And so we want to take the square root of both sides because we're fair like that. And whenever we take the square root of both sides, we have to put plus or minus because 2 squared is 4 and negative 2 squared is 4. I'm going to stop here. Notice that I did, like the orange color here. It kind of shows up a little pinkish, but orange just to really show that I'm doing something different than the original problem was. And so the square root of x squared, we get x. And then the square root of 4 is what? It's 2. And so if you notice right there, I also paused. One of the things that I love about the Lightboard is I try to make it as regular to being in a classroom with me. If your students are really watching the video, you do want them to engage with it. So hopefully they're at home answering too before I said it. And lastly, to erase it, you kind of grow some muscles a little bit, but they have the microfiber cloth, and you just probably want to hold on to the side. And I have found that kind of erasing in circles makes it a cleaner erase. But it does take some time, so typically while I'm erasing, I have further comments for the students or questions that I'm asking them, or silly or corny little things that my students later comment about. So that's how the Lightboard works. And last thing, they do have like some spray to kind of clean it if it gets a bit dirty after you've done several examples. So as I mentioned at the beginning, my favorite thing is my students. So every decision that I make is with students in mind, and I'm really huge about student engagement and students feeling like they're a part of the class, they're connected, they feel that being around me is a safe space. And I think that really comes with, especially in an online class or using the Lightboard, them being able to see you. So 2 typical types of videos that I've seen is when like an instructor has a tablet and you just see their handwriting, and that's a great video as well. Or you may see somebody writing on a whiteboard and your back is kind of turned and you turn around to the students. But I found that this is like the perfect combination because the entire time students get to see me, they get to see my facial expressions, they get to see when I'm very serious about something like that plus or minus I did earlier, and they begin to feel more connected. Also, one of the comments that I've had from students is just the fact that you took the time to record these videos. That in itself shows students that you care enough about their learning to actually do this. So I think the Lightboard is just a perfect blend of color that makes things pop. They get to see you, they get to engage with you in that way. And one of the things that I did in some of my former videos or earlier on videos with the Lightboard is after a concept was taught, then there would be like a quiz that was input into the video. So that would give students a break from the content, but it would also test their knowledge and keep it interactive. So there's a lot of things that can be done using the Lightboard. And yeah, I've gotten so many comments from students about love the Lightboard, especially one semester I had half of my videos with the Lightboard and then half using another capability, and they really emailed me just because they felt like it to let me know that they really enjoy the Lightboard. I've had another student who went on to, or she works at UNCG, I believe, and she did a presentation about the Lightboard, trying to encourage faculty to use it after being in my class. So I definitely think that it stands out to students, and it really helps with that engagement piece, which I truly believe impacts student learning, and that's what it's all about.